Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower.
Here.
Commissioner Patton.
Here.
Commissioner Webb.
Here.
Commissioner Ross.
Here.
Mayor Ranella.
Here. Any addition or subtractions to the regular meeting of January the 14th? Hearing none, those minutes will be approved. Any addition or corrections to the special meeting of January 21st? Hearing none, those minutes will be approved. Okay, Lana, would you guys like to address the council? Anybody to address the council? It's public comment.
Sure. Where you want me to
The mic. You're not? What?
Okay, my name's Lana Ray. I live in Marion, of course, and I don't know who all is here, maybe for the same reason I am, and that is I'm very concerned about a lot of the animals that are left outdoors right now, particularly one that is in my neighborhood over on East Everett Street. I, from out walking, ran across the dog too. In fact, this particular resident, this is his third animal that he's had. The first one deceased from neglect in the summer. And then the last one last year was, we don't even know for sure what happened. I would like to think it's in a nice home somewhere, that someone maybe kidnapped him and took him somewhere, but I don't know if he passed or not as well. And then now there's another dog out here in a pen. I made a Facebook post that went pretty public and attached a video to it that's had probably over 16,000 views at this point, showing the conditions that this dog is living in. The pen isn't so bad structurally as far as the actual pen, but what it's standing in is terrible. The pen is in a very low-lying area with a lot of water that collects in the pen. So the owner of the dog attempted to throw a couple of pallets out there for the dog. There is a dog house with a very minimal amount of wet straw in it. The dog is wet. In these temperatures, a dog cannot dry out. So the dog was very cold. You know, it just hovers in the corner of its kennel. When it comes out to use the bathroom, it's forced to go on the pallets because it can't certainly get into the, into the anywhere else in the pen to go where it could safely and comfortably go to the bathroom. So neighbors, some here tonight too, have been feeding the dog. I myself have been feeding the dog. We go over, we give the dog water because it's frozen most of the time when it gets really cold, just to try to sustain the dog, although I think our efforts have been actually hurting the dog in one sense too, because as long as the dog appears to have food and water and fed and has some type of shelter, then animal control and the city police have told me that it meets the minimum requirements by law and that there's nothing that they can do. Now, I don't think that animal control nor the city of police are trying to be mean to this animal. I think they've been given rules that have to be enforced, but as Mr. Hightower stated too in one of his comments in the thread, that laws can be changed. So that is my number one hope, is that we can get a different ordinance in Marion that specifies what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. I know different breeds can tolerate different things, and I don't think that is in question here. It's not anything I'm questioning. I have enough common sense to know a Siberian Husky loves cold weather, but a Siberian Husky does not love to be in terrible conditions where it can't even go to the bathroom without being wet. You know, it doesn't like being out in the cold where it just freezes all the time. I mean, you have to take care of all animals. This man, the owner, is an over-the-road truck driver, and he is gone for days. This last time, I think it was 4 days that he was gone. He has an ex-wife, apparently, that will pop in when she feels like it and, throw some food in the pen and maybe check on the dog. I'm probably giving her too much credit because I think the credit for the dog being alive needs to go to the neighbors. But like I said, he's gone for days. This man needs his pet owner card torn up. Not, he just does not need another animal at all. So that's also a goal of mine, is to make sure at least he doesn't have another pet. Like I said, one dog has already died. And in my opinion, as a citizen, whether, it be an animal or a person or anything that is helpless, that we need to step up and open our mouths that God gave us and be their voice and be their advocate and try to get somebody, to listen and to help. And I think from what I've been hearing and reading on Facebook, too, with comments, that we're going in the right direction. And I just really plead with all of you to please, feel the passion that I'm having right now and have been, and that I have for animals my entire life. I was the little girl that would bring every stray animal that I found home, and I had a mother that never told me no once. So anything that can be done to help protect these animals and enforce defined laws that we can set would be much appreciated. So that's all I have to say tonight. Thank you.
Hopefully by February 11th, we'll have our new ordinance in place. It's written, it's just not in ordinance form. I think you will approve of it. It's very comprehensive. It will address individuals like this.
Sure.
And beyond, and I think a few violations under this new ordinance, and he will probably decide he doesn't want to be a pet owner. But when I went over there Thursday, the dog was gone.
Good.
And
but the dog is back now.
Okay.
The dog is back.
Only thing I was told was that the dog is in good hands. One thing I didn't notice, though, inside the pens, and she's right, it's terrible conditions, but unfortunately, when you deal with people and personal traits that, we all have a various difference of opinion there, what's right and what's wrong. And
right.
You and I have had conversations on this, and you know where I stand because we're rescue owners of both dogs and cats. My wife and I are. So, but I think you'll be very happy with this new ordinance. It's been worked on very hard. Person that needs to be given a lot of credit is Assistant Chief Tina Morrow and her diligence to put a lot of different, not only our old ordinance, but several other ordinances from other municipalities together. And,
Nice.
You want it to be stringent, but then you don't want to tell somebody that, you don't want too much government in it, I'll just say that. But I think you'll be really pleased, and hopefully we'll have it on the February 11th agenda to approve. David's looked at it, and he concurs it's a good ordinance, so hopefully by then we can work on it. But
Well, I hope so. And like I said, I've seen from a couple of the police officers that I've dealt with, I've seen that they're upset about it too, and they feel like their hands are tied. So I think they will welcome something that they can enforce a little
it gives our
more
animal
easily
control
too.
people a little bit more latitude and
Yes.
being able to make a decision for themselves without having to go to the police chief or her designee.
Right. And Kevin Askew, I think, does a fantastic job. I truly do. And I know this has been, his job breaks his heart daily, and I know it does. And I commend him for doing what he does. And like I said, I certainly don't want my actions to reflect on, attacking, animal control or the police. I'm just asking for help. And like I said, definitive answers and solutions, just a solution.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah. If you're not doing anything tomorrow, come by and I'll give you a copy of it you can look at. Okay. All right. Yeah, that'd be great. Okay. Thank you. Anybody else to address the council? Okay. We'll move on with our agenda. TJ, if you don't mind, Josh has got a rehearsal going on at the Civic Center that he needs to get back to. So you will yield. 15 yields to, one yields to 15. Thank you.
Good evening, gentlemen. The Marion Cultural and Civic Center in December of 2017 received a second donation of $50,000 from Alan and Wanda McCabe. The first donation of $50,000 from them went to a new stage floor for the Civic Center, and they wanted to see this second donation used towards new carpeting for the Civic Center. That donation will cover the cost of the carpet itself. We are looking to purchase it through Distinctive Interiors. Waylon Sims has worked directly with us to have this custom designed. They sent little bundles of wool of all of the colors. He has meticulously put this together. This is the sample of what the new carpet would look like. And it takes a little bit more of a traditional design in carpet, which would mix with the modern design of the building to bring kind of like a hearkening back to the original notes of the original Civic Center as well, while still tying into the current design aesthetic, which won the Frank Lloyd Wright Award for the state of Illinois back in 2004.
Right.
Waylon will be providing this at cost plus a percentage just to cover freight.
And if I understand, before she passed, this was approved by Mrs. McCabe.
Yes, it was.
Make a motion to approve the purchase of the carpet for the Marion Cultural and Civic Center from Distinctive Interiors for the sum of $48,760.
And the installation will be done when and how will it be
We are
paid for?
looking to open up or block off 2 weeks at the end of April, beginning of May for the installation.
Does this include installation?
This does not include installation. That'll be done by a separate company. We are getting bids from multiple companies on that.
And that's a budgeted item, right? Installation?
The installation is not necessarily a budgeted item, but in the funds that were given to us through the will of Bracy Smith, we reserved $20,000 out of that to be used in addition to this towards installation.
I'll second the motion.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing no further discussion, clerk call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
Mayor Vanella.
Yay. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, number one, TJ Warren, donation from City Council to Polar Plunge event, Special Olympics.
Well, you know, this is how we got you guys involved again. So we signed you up early.
You're glad it's not tomorrow, aren't you?
I'm definitely glad it's not tomorrow. I'll be a little chilly then. I think we'll see single digits tomorrow.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Mayor, Commissioners, I'm basically here on behalf of the Special Olympics for our Polar Plunge that we do every year. Our department, along with Winston County Sheriff's Department, members from the Water Department, State's Attorney's Office, we all develop our own little team called the Copsicles. Every year we go out to Wren Lake and jump in the weather of the water, of course. That's about anywhere from low 30s to mid 40s. Sometimes we got cut through 8 inches of ice. Sometimes we get lucky and it's 50 to 60 degrees outside. So it's always a roll of the dice when we jump in. But again, this was basically for us to raise funds for Special Olympics for those individuals that has intellectual disabilities to help compete in sporting events, just the Olympic style sporting events where they can compete with other individuals. They prove their athletic prowess to, you know, just to show what they're made of themselves. So this is what we put together every year to try to help out. Myself and Officer Morris has done this. This is our 14th year that we've done this. We also, with our team, if you raise the most money, you retain a trophy. Every 4 years, you get to keep that trophy, and we've retained the title of that trophy for the past 12 years. So far, so good. We're doing good, and we've got a good team going. So what I'm looking at is just try to get another donation from the city to help sponsor us on our event this year.
And that donation last year was $500?
Yes, sir.
And I want to say one thing.
You did good last year.
Well, let me tell you, folks, there are two defining moments when you hit that ice for a male, and neither one was good, but it was, you get in, get out, and it's over, and they got divers out there, and I don't think I breathed for about 5 minutes, but that's okay. But anyway, getting back to you.
Well, but again, the
Yeah.
unfortunate thing, since I am a diver also,
Yeah.
and the rescue divers know me,
Yeah.
whenever we get out there close, they like to splash us a little bit also,
Yeah,
to
they
help
did.
add to the
Yeah,
effect of it.
that was unnecessary. Yeah, yeah, I was wet enough. That was unnecessary. And I look forward to doing that again this year. But this guy right here has got a pretty defining moment coming this year. He's going to surpass $30,000 in contributions that he has gotten over his involvement with the Special Olympics, and I think that's pretty monumental task, and you need to be commended for it.
Yes,
Thank you.
I agree with
Thank
that.
Appreciate that.
Okay, guys, what's your pleasure?
I'll make that motion.
We got a motion,
I'll second.
got a second. Hearing no further discussion, clerk call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Galt.
Yay.
Mayor Vanella.
Yay.
Thank you.
Is there more room on the team for other members? Oh, yeah. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Get more donations that way.
Yeah,
All right. Thank you. So March 2nd, I'll be looking for you.
yeah, I'll be there. I told you I would. Okay, Mr. Hale.
Okay, it is time for our yearly abatement of our general obligation bonds, which we do. We do the abatement so that, and then that way, because we pay all of the principal and interest off of these bonds, we pay with revenues other than property tax. And if we did not abate them, my understanding is they would go on the property tax roll. And the total here of the total abatement we're doing is $5,027,852.37. To kind of give you an idea, our rate right now is going to be around 57 cents on the assessed valuation. If these bonds were part of the property tax, our rate would be roughly $2.17. All depends upon what the assessed valuation goes. So you can see that's a dramatic effect. To give you an example, on a home that is valued at $100,000, right now their property tax for the city share alone this next year will be around $190. If this property tax were assessed, the general obligations bonds were assessed through property tax, that person's portion of the property tax belonging just to the city alone would be $700 or better. So it shows you it's a pretty significant amount. And like I said, we're able, because of our sales tax base, we're able to pay the principal interest with our sales tax money. And so I would like the council to go ahead and to then abate all of these. I think before you've done like an omnibus, where you've just done them all at one time versus each one individually.
$5,027,000.
$852.37 worth of abatement.
I'll make the motion to abate the
Can-
general real estate tax levies.
Hang-
for
hang
general
on.
op- Why not?
David, I thought in the past that we had did these individually.
I think we did
Nope.
them all at once.
I thought we did an omnibus.
Yeah, I think you did.
All right,
I
Hey.
think you did too.
let's go. A through H.
I made the
Five
motion.
for $5,027,852.37.
Yes.
Have a motion?
I'll second.
Have a second? Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
And Mayor Vanilla.
Yay. Okay. Code enforcement,
Item number 3, a budgeted item. The Code Enforcement Department had budgeted to replace one of their used cars that has been more used. And they've been looking, they had budgeted $15,000, and so they have been exploring the various dealerships in town and would like to purchase a 2015 Ford Escape from Absher Arnold in the amount of $14,000. And the quote was attached to your packet. And they looked quite a few places to try to find, this is a Ford Escape. Looks pretty nice, good mileage. So it would be a used vehicle and for code enforcement, and then code enforcement in turn would take their greatly used car and give it to, or basically assign it to IT and fill out the disposition asset and go to the IT department for their use. So we're. So the old white car that was obtained from the police department many years ago that has been used by IT would then probably go to either for sale or asking the street department if they need the parts.
So you'll still be using your own vehicle? Correct. Why is that? Because you like it. Okay. Well, that's fair enough.
To save taxpayers money, right?
That's true. I mean,
Sure you do.
and keeping the 2 cars there, I'm fine with the running around I make, and I'm fine with it. But that car does need to, be sold or do something with it. It's definitely an older car. I mean, it's not even a coffee holder, The air doesn't work.
Or beer.
Right place to set your donut.
One
Right.
available, and we're glad to have it. I know Derek will be appreciative of it, so thank you.
I bet we could call our friends in Equality or Elizabethtown and they'd be glad to have that for a squad car or something like that.
Carterville.
You can drive it home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
I'll move to approve the purchase of 2015 Ford Escape from Absher Arnold, amount of $14,000.
Second.
got a motion and a second.
Oh, second.
Okay, any further discussion? Call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
Mayor Vanilla.
Yay. Okay, ordinance 3492.
Yeah, that's an ordinance just authorizing us to borrow money to buy the vehicle. When we budgeted last year, we had budgeted to pay, to borrow the money. And so I called First Southern Bank, being so small, I didn't do a bid out. And he offered the same interest rate as we had when we, a few months back, did the purchase of all that equipment and the vehicles and police vehicles. He's going to give us the same interest rate on that. So we went ahead and just, so I'm asking the council authorize the loan with First Southern Bank
I'll make that
for the
motion.
vehicle.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion. Call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
Mayor Vanilla.
Yay. Steve, one more time.
Yeah. If you recall, we had about 4 months ago, we had an employee leave for another department, and we replaced her with Rianne, and she's just now finishing up her 90 days. She's done really well. I understand from the other employees that she's catching on very fast. She's got a great personality, gets along with everybody really well. And what we have done in the past with employees, we started her at $18 an hour. And what we've done in the past is, for a person as they went on and matured in their position, that we did a 2-year period with 6-month increments to bring them up to where the other accounting technician is. So in a 2-year period, she would be making whatever the other accounting technician would be making, and we would do it by giving her a increase every 6 months. And that's how we've done it in the past with other employees who've came on. And so that's what I would like the council to approve, is to do that with that way. And in 2 years, then she would be making what the other accounting technician is making in the office.
And yeah, I agree with Steve. She's doing a great job in there. We made a big selection on that with Steve. I'd make the motion to approve that incremental increases for Rihanna.
No, second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, clerk call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss,
Yay.
Mayor Vanella.
Yay.
And Brian's gonna come up to do number 6. So.
Good evening. The number 6 there, Brent, I think, put that on the agenda. I've not been out there and looked at it, but me and Brent talked about this. I think he's looking for approval from the council there to line a sewer near Biassy Keyboard. They TV'd a sewer over there and found that all the joints are displaced. It started out as a sinkhole. There's a hole in the pipe. Once they got to looking at it, it's worse than they thought. So he's worked out here with Scuda Construction for a bid of $19,500. I say a bid. That's under our authority that we have to bid it. But there's not too many contractors around here that actually line that sewer. I think.
I asked him that. To see.
Yeah, I think we found Doug Phillips did some storm sewer. The closest ones are like in situ form from St. Louis, and a lot of times they have to get a hotel and they double the price. So
You can't do it.
but that's at amounts less than $20,000, which is your authority to not have to get bids anyway. So
That'll be my motion.
I'll
Got a
second.
motion, got a second. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion.
Who made a second?
Jim.
Okay.
Got it?
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss,
Yay.
Mayor Vanella.
Yay.
item 7 there, you should have a bid tabulation in your packet. If you recall a few months ago, I don't remember how long ago, a few months ago, Brendan saw it and the council gave him authorization to proceed with this project. It's replacing a sewer from Main Street north up 5th Street, stopping about the school bus facility, but then also a sewer that's, as you cross the railroad tracks, is heading south towards Brady Street. Actually comes underneath the railroad tracks there, replacing a sewer. And actually, there's a little area there that someone could actually extend the sewer to get. There's a plot of land there that doesn't have sewer that had become available, but he's basically replacing old sewer in there. We advertised that, and we made sure at least 4 contractors knew about it. We had 2 pickup plans, and again, Scuda Construction does a lot of work in town, as you can see. That's also why we like to grab him if we need him in a pinch. He's normally a pretty good price. Estimated just under $135,000, and his bid was $115,140. And as you can see, Wiggs Excavating is a good contractor. You know, we've had an issue with him in the past, but overall he's a good contractor. But I think he just threw a number at it in case no one else bid, to be honest with you, because he just doubled the price. So it'd be my recommendation to award that to Scuda Construction as well.
I'll put that in form of a motion.
Got a motion?
I'll second.
Got a motion, got a second. Any discussion? Hearing no further discussion, clerk call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Thanks, Brian.
Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss,
Yay.
Mayor Vanella.
Yay. 911, item 8. Mr. Webb.
Yeah, under item A, council approval to reappoint Jerry Odom to the Williamson County 911 Board for a 3-year term as a City of Marion representative. I'll make that in a form of a motion.
Got a motion on the
Second.
floor, got a second. Hearing no further discussion, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss,
Yay.
Mayor Renella.
Yay.
And along those same lines, council approval to appoint Assistant Police Chief Tina Morrow to fill the unexpired term of Police Chief Don Tondine's position on the County 911 Board as a City of Marion representative. I'll make that form of a motion.
Got a motion?
Second.
Got a second? Any discussion? Hearing none, clerk call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss,
Yay.
Mayor Renella.
Yay.
Proceeding on with item number 9, I'd like to read a letter dated January 24th. Said, I'd like to inform you that I will be retiring effective May 31st, 2019. I have truly enjoyed working for the City of Marion Fire Department, and I sincerely appreciate the support provided me during my 30 years as part of this department. I will take with me the friendships I have made and the memories from all the years of serving alongside my fellow firefighters. While I look forward to enjoying my retirement, I will miss being part of the Marion Fire Department. I trust that the friendships I have developed here will last well into the future. Sincerely, Bruce Plummer, Captain. We hate to lose Bruce. He's been there a long time. He's just an excellent leader, and gotten to know him personally. Just a fine man, and we wish him the best in his retirement.
Bruce's first day on the job, he worked on my shift. Tom Oates had a dryer fire at his house. On our way back to the station, we got a call for a structure fire, and then later on that afternoon, we actually went out on an extrication where we had to cut the tree down to remove the victims out of an auto. So he got off to a pretty lofty start there, and
Got our money's worth out of it.
yeah, we got our money's worth out of him, at least on his first shift.
Yeah. But with that, reading that, and like I said, we do wish him the very best on his retirement. But I would ask council approval and put the former motion to accept the retirement letter from Captain Bruce Plummer, Fire Department.
Have a motion on the floor. Have a second.
Yeah, I'll second.
Already second.
Oh,
You
Already got a
third it.
Got a third?
yeah, I can third it.
Call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss,
Yay.
Mayor Renella.
Yay.
Then item 10 would be, along those same lines, would be the council approval for the Marion Fire and Police Merit Board to fill a vacant firefighter position made necessary by the retirement of Captain Bruce Plummer. I'll put that in form of a motion.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Hearing no further discussion, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss,
Yay.
Mayor Renella.
Yay.
And item number 11 would be council approval for Marion Fire and Police Merit Board to make promotions in the fire department made necessary by the retirement of Captain Bruce Plummer. We're kind of working off a fresh list. We just interviewed last year and went through the test, so I think we just hired one off that list, so we got plenty left on that list. But anyway, I put that in form of a motion to give the Merit Board to go ahead.
Second that.
Got a motion and a second. Hearing no discussion, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss,
Yay.
Mayor Renella.
Yay. Okay, number 13, Hub.
Well,
We're not gonna do.
Well, oh,
I'm
sorry.
I'm used to being snubbed. Don't worry
Oh,
about it.
Johnny, you don't know, you
No.
got my wholehearted apologies
know
here,
you do.
yeah. For
Well-
$1 million,
Yeah, or plus.
yeah.
We opened the bids today or yesterday on the new roundabout on the Carbon and Morgan, and the bids came in 3 bids. We received the bid from the Sierra Bravo for $1,273,175.81. We have one from A.T. Simons at $1,248,839 and a penny. Samron came in with $1,317,761 and a quarter. The low bid was Sierra Bravo. It'd be my motion to accept low bid.
Glenn, did they meet all bid specifications?
Yeah.
Brian? Okay. Okay, we have a motion on the floor to accept Sierra Bravo's bid of $1,273,175.17.
I'll second that motion.
We have a second on the motion. Hearing no further discussion, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Doss,
Yay.
Mayor Vanilla.
Now, am I correct that they will start doing some work on this in February preliminary?
They can't, we have like a 90-day shutdown for that intersection and a detour route, which actually includes the Stanford-Princeton contract.
Yeah.
So they can't do that, can't shut that down until May.
Well, I know not to shut down, but I understood they were gonna do some preliminary work in February, March.
Got availability to start working.
Yeah. Because we have to do Stanford and finish it up first.
Yeah.
The street department's pretty busy right now. We got about $3 million on this roundabout, or $1.5 million. We got 800,000 coming up on the well, let's see, what street is that? Yeah, Westminster. And then we have a $180,000 coming up on the halfway sidewalk. So we've got close to $3 million projects in the process right now. So it's going to be a busy time for the street department. I appreciate your help. Okay, that's all I have.
When are we starting Stanford?
We're having a pre-job conference, Thursday, 10:30, to discuss. We've approved shop drawings for inlets and storm sewers. We gotta get some weather, so they've got everything in place ready to start when the weather cooperates.
All easements?
Pardon?
All easements?
Still missing one.
Pisoni?
Nope,
No?
nope, he's fine. It's the one on the corner, and there's 8 errors, and we're having to go through 8 different people all over the country to get sign-offs. Mr. Watson is not involved in it anymore, and he's got 8 errors.
The completion on that Westminster is projected to be what, Glenn?
And the widening of Westminster?
Yeah.
At the best, it would be late fall,
Late fall.
at the best.
Okay. Okay. Well, there's a lot going on.
No way to get it done before school starts?
No.
Come on.
I guess there's ways, but it'll take more than 800,000.
Might cost a little more.
Yeah.
Stanford, is that a concrete, full width concrete? Okay.
26 foot, isn't it?
30 foot face to face of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
30 feet.
Okay.
Stanford's 30.
I know you're going to come out 6 more feet, you said. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you were talking about, you mentioned Stanford now, Winchester,
I'm,
Westminster.
I'm talking about Westminster. Yeah.
30 foot face to face,
Yeah. Okay.
same thing.
Yeah.
Just the reverse. Westminster's gonna be 26, right?
It ends up being 30.
Really?
How do we do
Where'd you
that?
square that? Yeah, tell me where you squeeze that land from.
Well, actually, face to face, you've got 20, you had 26 foot of surface area, and you got a 12-inch, 18-inch flag, and an 18-inch flag, it's 29 foot face to face.
Okay.
26 foot traveling.
Well, the drive part, those 26 foot.
Driving parts.
Yeah, that's what. I
Okay,
meant, yeah.
all right, all right. Okay.
What are you waiting on?
You
We already called the roll on that.
you need the bid? Well, I was gonna give it to you.
I've got,
You got one?
yeah, that's fine.
I'm sorry. Okay, now the hub.
All right, Council, Mayor, good evening. My first item, item 13, is unfortunately a resignation, full-time coordinator resignation, requesting acceptance of that resignation. So I'm seeking approval of resignation of Ray Cagle as full-time sports and rec coordinator. This will be effective February 2nd, and he would remain as part-time basketball instructor. As you may recall, with Rashad Rucker's resignation, Ray came on July as interim coordinator, and then thereafter regular coordinator position, and he's had an opportunity earlier than expected to have real full retirement. So he's going to proceed to do that. He's going to stay on with us for clinics and for basketball instruction. So he's done exceptionally well in his position, made some great department strides, but he's going to stay on with us on a part-time basis, as his previous position was prior to coordinator position.
Okay.
At what rate of pay? Is he back down to 15 an hour? What is he?
No, he came on with us based on his experience level, clientele, and so forth as basketball instructor at $20 an hour. So that would be the same rate that he has done prior to salaried position as coordinator, which was the most recent change in his position.
Yeah,
He would be at 20 because of his experience, and that's pretty standard relative to other more experienced instructors. They come in at $15 an hour, and then if it's warranted relative to experience, then they are at 20 with that instructor position, as well as other instructor positions such as the volleyball program.
Could, you think we could hire somebody the next time that's will last more than 2 months?
Yeah, I think we can. So we're going to look for February, March selection and interviews and selection. And so that transition happened at that time pretty abruptly in July, like July 3rd, July 4th with previous coordinator. And so we transitioned with current staff. And what we're looking at right now is not only current staff, but some excellent recent interviews and applicants that we've had for sports and rec coordinator position. So yeah, we're hoping to. I had anticipated with Ray maybe 1 to 3 years. That's what he thought too. He was thinking more like 3 years, but he had an opportunity earlier than expected with his retirement, and so he went ahead and did so. Great fit with the leadership team. He's done amazing things with the department, and that's why he's thankfully so staying on with us, and to further build that team and that department, not only in basketball but across the board with various kinds of programs. So.
As I recall, we raised him up to $4,000 raise and made him a salary exempt. Is that correct position?
He was, yes, he was brought. I don't remember the exact level that he was, the amount he was raised to, but he was raised to $36,000.
$36,000. It's
Correct.
$4,000 raise.
Yeah.
Do you anticipate that?
It was roughly for somewhere around that. But
Do you anticipate the new replacement being salary exempt?
that's my preference relative to budget stability. However, we really have to look at how we're structuring this department and who we actually have as applicants. My preference is it's a salary exempt position, but we really have to look at
But not
what the fit
necessarily
is.
at 36,000, or was that position set?
There will be a range because we'll have various applicants. There will be a range, and we've not posted it yet, and we don't have our range yet.
Okay. But, I mean, you can't, I just, if they don't have the experience, I just
Correct.
don't know how we can pay top-end money.
Correct.
That's
So
about-
the way that position's going to look is going to determine what the range is. So that's going to go with the posting. The range will be released.
I assume
And,
you'll have a job description
and the-
that would qualify for a salary exempt position?
Yeah, we already have one. Yeah, we've got a sports and rec
haven't had
coordinator's job description.
I know, but I'm not sure. We had a ruling back on whether or not, we've been waiting on the labor attorney on those timesheets and
The timesheets are irrelevant relative to the job descriptions.
They are if they're not salary exempt,
Well,
if they don't qualify.
well, then they would be, if they don't qualify for salary exempt, then they're of course subject to overtime.
I
If
have
it's a
some,
40.
I've got a lot of concern about the way that's set up. Some liability for the city might be forthcoming on it, so we need to
But
look
that
at-
position has a job description.
Well, the job description doesn't mean that it is qualified because they have a description. I'd like to have somebody really rule on that for us, whether or not we are.
What are you talking about? The timesheets or the? or the
well, I have a
salaried
question
exempt?
on
Because,
both.
because a labor attorney, a well-respected labor attorney, made the ruling off the Fair Labor Standards Act that that position was qualified for salary exempt under the act.
Yeah, based on that job description,
Yeah.
he qualifies for salary, that position qualifies for salary exempt, yes.
I think your concern.
They, all of the
because
criteria,
that-
it meets all the criteria
because of
for that.
exemption, he also made mention that he didn't feel the need for a supervisor to put more than 40 hours on his timesheet.
Well, that's so, I hear all that, but I see the hub is still reporting actual hours worked, where the other supervisors are not doing that.
Supervisors,
I have a
pardon?
question, why is that being done that way?
The mayor approved that because of the computer programs.
And
we are reporting,
I'll tell you what.
I'll go on record to say we are reporting what our actual hours are.
If you go to most places, and Doug, help me out here, most supervisors don't put down anything on a timesheet. So, I mean, maybe moving forward, we don't either. We identify those people, and then it's up to them as employees who we should trust in that position to do their job and not worry about whether they're putting in 40 hours, 60 hours, or whatever.
I know
Place that on the agenda for next.
the January meeting and the December meeting, the labor attorney is gonna get back to, and have a ruling on this, and I haven't heard one come back yet.
He was a little bit busy trying to get a judgeship, and that didn't work out for him, so.
January, so whatever. Anyhow, I noticed that the hub supervisors that we call supervisors are still doing actual hours and the others aren't. So we need a clarification on what I'm trying to say. That's, so we'll move on to the next one.
We'll come to that resolve February 11th, I
Okay.
promise you.
Okay.
Think about it, gentlemen. I agree with you, Doug.
I've already have thought about
Yeah.
it. There's not a whole lot more thinking to do
Yeah,
about it.
I say we don't have them put down anything, and if we can't trust them in their job capacity, then we replace them and get somebody in there that we can, that we know's doing their job and putting in 40 hours a week. Most of them, I say at a minimum is 60. Minimum. You don't think so?
No.
You don't think Doug's putting in 60 hours a
I'd
week?
say some of them do, but you said most. That pretty
Well, do I
generally
need
say
to
most.
get out Webster's to define most? That
Well,
means,
more than the average, I would say.
well,
Yeah.
moving on
Yeah,
to
move on.
14.
We didn't do a vote.
We didn't?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the resignation of Ray Cagle as full-time sports and recreation
I'll
coordinator.
second it.
Any further discussion?
No.
Call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss,
Yay.
Mayor Vanella.
Yay.
Item 14, new employee recommendations. These are part-time positions, part-time employees for positions that already exist. First one is Moses Mays, and this is for basketball sports staff at $9 an hour, tackle football sports staff at $9 an hour, flag football staff $9 an hour, and fitness attendant $9 an hour. Next individual is Alexander Baker, basketball sports staff at $9 an hour, tackle football sports staff at $9 an hour, flag football staff, sports staff at $9 an hour, and fitness attendant at $9 an hour. Third individual, Joshua Lindner, cafe attendant, $9 an hour, and front desk attendant, $9 an hour. Fourth individual, Julianne Cherez, child watch attendant, $9 an hour. Fifth individual, Susan Chartreux, child watch attendant, $9 an hour. Camp counselor, $9 an hour. Cafe attendant, $9 an hour. Front desk attendant, $9 an hour. Sixth individual, Bria Quatermos, Child watch attendant, $9 an hour, and camp counselor, $9 an hour. Next individual, number 7, is Mara, Edek Mara Suarez Delgado. Cafe attendant, $9 an hour. Front desk attendant, $9 an hour. Child watch attendant, $9 an hour. Final individual, number 8, is Martin Jennings. Personal trainer, $30 an hour. Group exercise instructor, $15 an hour. Basketball instructor, $15 an hour. And swim coach, $20 an hour.
These are all to fill vacant positions, or no new
Yeah.
ones, right?
Yeah, we have staff, there's no new positions, no new hours.
Are these
With the
current
exception of
employees?
personal trainer, in order to generate additional personal training hours. So in some cases, it's staff availability, and in terms of new hires, staff availability, and really forecasting and identifying that we may have some turnover coming up. But again, they're not new positions and they're not additional hours.
But they're new employees.
They're new employees. All are new employees except we have a returning Susan Chartreux and Martin Jennings. So those are two. Susan we separated probably a year ago, and Martin Jennings was probably in August, I believe. Don't have the exact date. But those two are returning, and the others are new.
Okay. You say it so eloquent. Please help us out here.
About that. I move that we approve the aforementioned personnel at the listed salary schedule and position.
I'll
Got a
second.
motion and a second. Call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
Mayor Renella.
Yay. Okay, moving on to 16, senior citizens. Gail, you want to?
Steve Everett, one of the dietary kitchen person, has submitted his resignation effective February 26th. So if the council would approve that resignation, and then we will be seeking a replacement position for him.
Okay, now, what about Kenny? Because she also announced there today that he
We have that for the next meeting.
Okay. All right.
I'll make that motion.
Got a motion?
Second.
Got a motion, second, to approve the resignation of Steve Abbott, full-time kitchen worker at Senior Citizens. Hearing no further discussion, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
Mayor Renella.
Yay. Okay, ordinance 3485.
As the council may recall, we have had public hearings and qualifications of 2 new TIF districts, one called North Commercial TIF District, and the second being Little Tractor TIF District. Tonight marks the council's approval, asking for approval, of the ordinances to establish and enact those TIF districts. With each TIF district, there are 3 ordinances. And the council might recall there was a plan submitted that our TIF consultant went through, rather lengthy projects qualification study preceding that, and that was also discussed at the public hearing. So ordinance 3485 is the first of 3, approving the North Commercial Tax Increment Financing District, which includes the mall and surrounding parcels that have not sold or been built on, so they're vacant ground. It also includes some ground behind Black Diamond, and will incorporate a little bit of land that hopefully will have some new projects on it very shortly. So the first ordinance adopts the plan and redevelopment of the projects for the North Commercial TIF District. Do you want to do these all at once, or?
Gail, I guess the one little area that we had several people who are concerned they was going to modify that. I guess it got modified.
They took that out, and Clarendon Ziegler revised the legal, thankfully. Thank you for getting that done. So it's carved out where the citizens of the villas they've been removed. The other thing is on this, just a note, Dillard's and Target are not included in this TIF district. They are excluded.
Yeah.
Because they've already developed and they do not meet the qualifications of blighted or needing development. Do you want to go on to the next one? Do all three, or?
Let's do all three at once.
All right. Yes. Ordinance 3486 designates the project area, which we had sort of discussed. It does exclude the vacant land that's on the west side of the villas, that Parkway Villas that people had talked about. And it excludes Dillard's and Target. Otherwise, it incorporates pretty much the vacant parcels and the parking lot surrounding the mall. And so that designates the project area, and there's a map included in that ordinance. The third ordinance adopts tax increment finance and permits the city to use redevelopment agreements and establish public projects and redevelopment agreements with private developers to develop property, to end blight, improve property, improve real estate taxes, and sales tax for the city. So basically, improve economic development. So those are the three ordinances for the North Commercial TIF District.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 3485.
Okay. Second?
Second.
Got a motion to approve ordinance 3485 in the second. Hearing no further discussion, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Patton?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
Mayor Vanella?
Yay. Ordinance 3486.
I'll make, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, similar ordinances. One is the project plan and redevelopment and project plan, excuse me, for Little Tractor TIF District. As you may recall, this is,
Hold on,
We still got two more ordinances to do.
oh, I'm sorry, I thought you
Yeah,
were doing all
yeah.
three.
he did the 86,
Yeah.
I think.
I just
didn't he?
jumped right in there,
Yeah,
excuse me.
I'm
I'll
sorry.
make a motion to approve ordinance 3486.
Yeah, and then we got to move on 85 and 87.
Yeah.
I'll
You
second.
want to include that?
The 86.
No.
You want to do 86 and 87, you want to do them separately?
Separate.
Okay.
Okay,
I'll second 3486.
okay.
Got a motion, second. Hearing no further discussion, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Patton?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
Mayor Vanella?
Yay. Ordinance 3487.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 3487.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Got a second. Hearing no further discussion, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner
Yay.
Patton?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
And Mayor Vanella?
And did we do 85?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Ordinance 3488.
Okay, sorry. Okay, this is Marion Little Tractor Tax Increment Financing District. This is just to the north of Route 13. And actually, if you drive past it, you will see construction already in progress. And we've had another interested party just inquire today about another parcel of land in that area because they saw it on one of our website views, the council meeting. So it was interesting. So that would be the first to develop, to approve the redevelopment agreement. The second would be designating the project area. This is a smaller piece of ground. It incorporates part of what had originally been TIF 1, but due to some of the public projects, which would be our sewer line, roadway, Stanford Avenue, and then probably a future road project on Princeton with the street department, just looking at that area. And sewer and water infrastructure that's going to be needed to, because a lot of that area has not been developed with sewer and water. So we have more public projects on that TIF. And actually that land has, even though it was in the original TIF 1 for many years. It has, because of blighted conditions, a lot of trailer areas that, you know, over time had just become empty. And so a lot of improvement was needed in that area. So I think we'll see some really nice things happening there. And so that's our redevelopment project area. And the last ordinance, which was 3490, actually just sets up tax increment financing for public and private projects in order to use that increment for those projects.
Okay.
Yes, it would, yeah, we didn't have that.
That was going to be my question. It was not included
No,
in.
it was not only the land that was privately owned, that according to the county, had a tax ID that was identified as a person's property.
So
We
that
did
was
not take any of the state
That was
land in that TIF.
not included in 06-14-205-001.
That one strip with, no.
Yep. The only other question I had, Gail, is property 06-14-203-007, down in the middle, right above the words West DeYoung Street. I'm kind of thinking that might be IDOT right away as well, along with 6-14-234-005. Because if I remember right, the department owns, I think, up to that, up Cornell a little bit for some drainage structures there.
We can clarify, I know the map in the draft agreement has pretty much the areas that are, and we can check, because when we did our public hearing, there was an area that I think was included right in here that was actually state.
Yeah, I believe both of these are state.
And I'll be checking, I'll
Yeah.
check those with
Yeah, if you could just check on that.
Clarendon Ziegler.
Yeah.
I'll send you, it's,
Which ones you think are state?
6-14-203-007.
they're confirming yes, so we'll have to have the map corrected.
Yeah.
So if the correction of the map on, omitting the state, any of the state property?
Yeah. Just to clarify.
Yes.
Is your map showing it in?
Yeah, showed mine grayed out.
Mine's in.
That one that's circled there?
Oh, 007. Okay, yeah, I see that. Yep. God, take a night out of it, boy, to find that. Okay. Okay, 3488.
I'd make a motion to approve 3488. And is that contingent upon the updates, I guess, of the?
Subject to clarification there. Yeah, I think so.
That'd be my motion.
I'll second that.
Got a motion and second. Any discussion? Hearing no further discussion, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
Mayor Ranella.
Yay. 3489.
I'd make a motion to approve 3489 with the same changes as Doug mentioned.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
Mayor Ranella.
Yay.
And I'd
3490.
make a motion to approve ordinance 3490.
Got a motion on the floor?
Second.
Got a second? Hearing no further discussion, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
Mayor Ranella.
Yay. Okay, ordinance 3491.
Okay, 3491 is an amendment to the TIF District 1. And this amendment removes and reduces the size of TIF District 1 because of partials that the council has just approved in the little tractor TIF, and there's one or two partials that are in the North Commercial TIF that were originally in TIF 1. What happens is this is filed with the county. Those pieces of land get a reassessed value as of date, and then they will go into the new TIF. So they don't keep that original value from 1987 when TIF 1 was developed. So this reduces by, and it's mentioned there's a map that's hard to read, but there is a map in there. But partial IDs, there are 18 partials that will be removed from TIF District 1 by ordinance. And then, and so your ordinance would be approving these partial removements. They'll be defined with the county and then reassessed and added into the new TIFs.
Which make up the new tractor TIF.
Yes, makes up new tractor.
Yes. Okay.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Got a motion, second. Hearing no further discussion, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss,
Yay.
Mayor Vanella.
Yay. Okay. Item number 24, Illinois Department of Labor, ordinance 3493. As you know, that we have an agreement with the state of Illinois to pay prevailing wage. We have been given notice that wage has been modified on 3 different trade area, 4. Tile layer, what was it?
Well, actually, the one that really affects most of the prevailing wages is carpenters.
Yes.
Elevator, floor layers, and operating. And some were revised. One was revised October 26th, one November 30th, and one, the carpenter's prevailing wage was January 11th. And the reason we're revising this is, when we do bids, we ask our companies that bid with the city to use prevailing wages. Since we have some upcoming projects that could affect this, we want to make sure we are keeping the carpenters and all the unions aware of what our prevailing wages per the states has revised, what they are, so that everyone is treated fairly.
It's just merely an update of the Prevailing Wage Act.
Make a motion to approve ordinance 3493.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Discussion. Hearing none, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss,
Yay.
Mayor Vanella.
Yay. Okay, item 25 is a budgeted item. We annually subsidize the Williams County Historical Museum for $15,000 per year. They've submitted a request for that $15,000. If you've never been over there, it is worth your time to go. A lot of history over there. We lost a big volunteer this past year to that place, Clarence DeMotti, and did great work. So this is well-used city dollars, and it's my recommendation that this be approved by the council.
I'll make the motion to do that.
Got a motion? Got a motion and a second by Commissioner Hightower. Hearing no discussion, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss,
Yay.
Mayor Vanella.
Yay. Coffee pot's off.
Somebody's pacemaker.
Anybody want a cup of coffee before it goes off? Okay. Ordinance 3494, vacate Marion Heights Commercial Subdivision Phase 1. Glenn?
That's the subdivision that was platted by Marion Heights Group of the 3 guys. And to make the project that they're working with feasible, they're going to be vacating the subdivision as platted, with the exception of the platted roads at Stanford and Shane Lane will remain open, The rest of the subdivision will be vacated and a new subdivision platted, which should be available for the next council meeting. And the purpose of that is, so that's to accommodate the development that's coming in by Stanford and Morgan Avenue there. And that's one of the requirements that has to be done.
I agree.
I agree.
So I move we adopt ordinance 3494.
Will we have that announcement available for next February 11th?
Maybe.
Maybe? Maybe? Did we hear anything else from Springfield this week? Yes. Thank you. Okay, we've got a motion.
I'll second.
Got a motion and second. Ordinance 3494. Hearing no further discussion, clerk call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss,
Yay.
Mayor Ranella.
Yay. Commissioner Hightower, anything for the council?
Just, we were on the subject of animals and how they care for our pets, and with the pending cold weather, there's been some questions on what are we gonna do for people who are stuck out in the elements, warming centers, et cetera. What do we currently have for people who are in those situations?
Well, we have we always, it's like in the summer, for cooling, we have the library that's open 8 o'clock at night. The senior center is there to 4 or 5. And if need be, if the need arises, we can open the training center.
Well, yeah, that's what I was
So,
gonna suggest.
yeah, so if we needed it, and we have 3 available buildings to give anybody a need to stay out of the elements these next couple nights, because it's gonna get brutal out there. And then by Saturday, it's gonna be 50 again, so.
Southern Illinois.
But so, anyway, but anybody that has the need, please feel free to call City Hall and we'll see if we can accommodate them.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner.
I don't have anything, Mayor.
Nothing further, Mayor?
Next time.
Nothing, thank you.
Okay. Gail mentioned earlier in the meeting that, we had some interest in our little tractor TIF development, and that was due in part because of a video that we just made of Marion that we let out during the chamber dinner, and that is over 8,000 views already. 10? 10 and growing. So here again, we spent a little bit of money, and through that spending, it spurred interest in Marion. So, and if that develops, it'd be well worth that money we spent. Yes, Gail?
It also has gone, it's also been sent out to at least 5 developers who we have been working with in the past year or so, to make them aware that, that we're still here. It's always nice because these developers are far out of state, and most of our videos are meant, they feel good, but a lot of them are meant, this was meant also for economic development.
Good. Okay. Commissioner Goss?
I have nothing. I'm good.
Well, I would hope not.
Want to pay the bills and funds become available.
Yes. Got a motion to pay the bills?
Second.
Got a second? Call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss,
Yay?
Mayor Ranella.
Yay.
And then no consent agenda today to act on.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead. It's your motion.
I move adjourned.
Motion to adjourn to February 11th. Got a motion and a second. Call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner,
Yay.
Yay.
Commissioner Goss,
Yay.